What if the pain in your back, your joints, or your nerves didn't actually start there at all? What if a meaningful part of it started in your gut, in a damaged, leaky intestinal lining, quietly leaking a bacterial toxin into your bloodstream, keeping your entire body inflamed? I know how that sounds. You came in with back pain and I'm talking about your intestines. But stay with me because a growing body of science is drawing a real line between the health of your gut and the volume of your pain. And almost no one in a standard pain workup is looking there. I'm Dr. Gurpreet Padda of the Padda Institute in St. Louis, board certified in interventional pain, anesthesiology, and addiction medicine, with 2 decades treating pain that didn't respond to the usual approach. The gut is one of the most powerful and most ignored players in chronic pain. Inside you is a vast community of bacteria, held behind a delicate lining that's supposed to keep it walled off from your blood. When that wall fails, the consequences reach far beyond digestion. Here's my promise. You'll understand 2 things that go wrong in the gut: dysbiosis and a leaky barrier. You'll learn about the specific bacterial toxin that drives body-wide inflammation when that barrier fails. You'll see the emerging human evidence linking the gut to chronic pain. And I'll be careful to tell you what's established versus what's still being worked out, because this is a frontier and you deserve an honest map of it. 4 stops. 1, what dysbiosis and leaky gut actually are. 2, the toxin called LPS and how it inflames your whole body. 3, the emerging gut pain axis. 4, what we do about it. 2 things go wrong. The first is dysbiosis, when the balance of your gut bacteria shifts the wrong way. The harmful inflammatory species overgrow and the protective ones decline. And what drives that shift? The modern diet, sugar, ultra-processed food, and industrial seed oils feed exactly the wrong bacteria. The second is increased intestinal permeability, what you've probably heard called leaky gut. Your intestinal lining is meant to be a tight selective barrier. Under the stress of dysbiosis and a poor diet, the junctions between those lining cells can loosen, and gut contents that should stay inside your intestine start slipping into your bloodstream. Here's the molecule that matters. The outer wall of many gut bacteria is made of a substance called lipopolysaccharide, LPS. It is one of the most powerful inflammatory triggers your immune system knows. Inside your gut, walled off, it's no problem. But when the gut leaks, LPS crosses into your bloodstream, a state researchers named metabolic endotoxemia, and your immune system stays switched on, holding your body in a chronic, low-grade inflammatory state. And that's exactly the kind of systemic inflammation that across this series sensitizes your nervous system to pain. Let me be straight about the evidence. This foundational work was done in mouse models with supporting correlation in humans. The link from a leaky gut to systemic inflammation is strong. The direct line from that LPS to your specific pain is, at this stage, an inference from the inflammation. Reasonable, but not yet proven cause and effect. I'd rather you know exactly where the solid ground ends. Your gut and your nervous system are not separate systems. They're in constant conversation through the vagus nerve, through immune signaling, and through the chemicals your gut bacteria produce. And here's the most striking human finding. When researchers compared the gut bacteria of people with fibromyalgia, a condition of chronic widespread pain, to healthy controls, the microbiome composition was meaningfully different, and those differences correlated with the severity of their symptoms. Minerbi et al., 2019. Now, that's a correlation, not proof that the bacteria caused the pain. I want to be precise about that. But it's a striking correlation, and it's one of several findings pushing researchers to take a genuine gut pain axis seriously. So here's the honest state of the science. A leaky gut can allow LPS into the bloodstream and trigger systemic inflammation and insulin resistance. Demonstrated, Connie et al., 2007. And the gut microbiome differs in people with chronic widespread pain, tracking with how severe their symptoms are. This is an emerging field, and I'll present it as emerging, not as settled fact. But here's why it earns a place in this series anyway. It's driven by your diet. And anything driven by diet is something you can act on. If you've bounced from specialist to specialist and not one of them asked a single question about your digestion, that's not your failure. The gut pain connection is still missing from most pain care, but your body doesn't actually work in the separate compartments that medical specialties are divided into. Your gut, your immune system, your nervous system, they're one connected whole. Treating them as if they're unrelated is how the real driver gets missed. So here's our approach. We work to rebalance the microbiome and heal the intestinal lining. And the primary tool is diet. We remove the ultra-processed foods and the inflammatory oils that feed dysbiosis, and we rebuild the conditions for a healthy barrier and healthier bacteria. And here's the mechanism behind why that helps. As the lining tightens back up, the LPS leak slows. As the leak slows, the metabolic endotoxemia recedes. And as that recedes, the constant immune alarm, the one quietly amplifying your pain, finally gets to quiet down. Sometimes the road to less pain runs straight through the gut, a place no one thought to look. This is the 6th conversation in this series. If you've been investigated everywhere except the one system that touches everything, it may be time. Go to painmd.tv and let's investigate the whole system, not just the spot that hurts. I'm Dr. Padda. Let's follow the real trail together.